Transcript for Oneonone with Gov. Christie thank you, Dan. Let's bring in a man who has prosecuted cases. Governor Christie. One thing that Dad said. That is a normal course of things. When you're going after the smaller fish to get the bigger fish, you usually don't charge them. That stuff is working behind the scenes. You want to keep that smaller fish having turned secret. It helps them to be able to gather more information. Sometimes they can wear a wire for you. Sometimes they can gather information where, if they're quiet, you're go and get it. If everyone knows they're charged, they're going to be treated like they're radioactive. No one wants to be near them. He's approaching this as a normal case with discrete type of charges that may wind up intersecting. May not. Not keeping it all together for a big report like Ken Starr did. Do you agree with Dan on why this is being kept secret? First off, it's supposed to be kept secret. Let's remember, too, Dan knows this. There are very strict criminal laws about disclosing grand jury information. Depending upon who disclosed this to CNN, it could be a crime. Do you think it's Mueller's team? I would hope not. We emphasize that. Let me tell you something. We'll prosecute you if we find out you leaked the stuff. We have to have the public's confidence, meaning the fact that the grand jury system is secret and fair. If you're leaking stuff, it happens, but you shouldn't be doing it. We don't know who leaked it. If defense lawyers leaked it, it could not be anybody been before the grand jury can talk about. Right. But the people that went before the grand jury would know there are charges. I think what is important is what we don't know. We don't know who this person is, what the charges are. We don't know anything except that there's a report that someone says there will be charges on Monday and there is a sealed indictment. Once that happens, we'll have more to react to. The one thing that is clear here, I heard someone say, are people nervous? Believe me, if you're the person, you know. I mean, you have already been told you're a target. Your lawyers, they have to advise you of your status as to whether you're a target. If you're told you're a target, believe me, you're not sleeping anyway. How about this notion that the president has pardon power? There's been some talk that the president might issue preemptive pardons of Mueller targets before a trial. Would that be appropriate? I have never seen the president say anything like that. If anybody is sitting around thinking I don't have to worry about anything, because the president will pardon me, they should talk to Scooter Libby. Others who thought they were going to be pardoned. All the people involved in Watergate. And the pardons they thought they were going to be getting from President Nixon. They're still waiting. Right, that's a very important power to use. I think we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. Certain lurks, those people shouldn't be sitting around saying, no problem. They ring, look at Sheriff Arpaio. It's a different circumstance. I think it is. But they're saying he's ready, willing, and able to use the pardon power. The president pardoning someone here would be explosive. It's a big step. I think the other important thing for people to remember is that the last public word was that the president himself was not under investigation. How do we know that? We know that the White House Chief of Staff, former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, has been interviewed. I used to love, when I was U.S. Attorney, the greatest part of my job was, only I know what I know. Everybody speculates. Everybody outside speculates. Some of it is educated speculation. Like Dan and I are involved in. We have experience. I think in the end, we would both be willing to admit, we have no idea. How about Robert Mueller on Friday? You seemed to suggest he could step aside. I said if certain facts come out regarding his involvement in other matters, he would have to look it. He has an obligation, and I think a heightened obligation, to be evaluating all the time new facts that come in. Do they put him in a compromised position? If they do, he has to recuse. The public is already nervous about this. The Attorney General of the United States has recused himself from it. The justice system is not working how it normally does. If there are questions about Director Mueller, you haven't seen that yet. No. I said on Friday if certain facts develop on whether it's his relationship with Director Comey or other issues, he has to think about that. You're the chair of the President's Open Youth Commission. He took your suggestion to declare it an emergency. He's taking some criticism for not saying, I need this much money. I think it will be a subject of conversation with Congress. I think the President has to sit down with Congress and Congress has to put this money in. The Public Health Energy Fund has only $57,000 in it. It's time to fund that. You're going to see this president initially ask for bills of dollars to deal with this. The other thing people need to know, I want to bring up briefly. He'd talk about changing the Medicaid rules. Said he's going to. That is going to open up thousands of Medicaid beds across the country for poor people who need drug treatment to get it. That will be game-changing on the ground in individual states like mine and others. So money is being committed. Now it's Congress' job. I heard Congresswoman Pelosi say, "Where's the money?" I said, "I read the Constitution. You appropriate. Get to it." Let's bring in Congressman Adam Schiff. This transcript has been automatically generated and may not be 100% accurate.